Hello again, horror lovers. My name is Rain and welcome back to Screaming for Horror. In today's video, we will be talking about lesser known but equally chilling poltergeist cases. A poltergeist, German for a noisy ghost, is a type of ghost responsible for physical disturbances, loud noises, objects being thrown or destroyed for no reason, and they can even cause harm by biting, pinching, shoving, and even slapping people. They usually haunt a particular person rather than a location, and it has been said that a person with such a magnitude of anger can also make these occurrences manifest. Poltergeist history has been reported around the world since the early 1st century. Some famously known cases include the Bell Witch, the Borley Rectory, and the Enfield Poltergeist, to which the movie The Conjuring 2 is based on. The next set of cases aren't as high profile as the previous ones, but nonetheless the people who have witnessed them were marked with fear forever. But before we start, as always, please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more upcoming creepy and scary content. And on that note, I hope you guys can forgive me in advance for possibly butchering some of the names on this video. So, with that being said, let's begin. Number 1. The Rosenheim Poltergeist. In the fall of 1967, known German parapsychologist Hans Bender was called into the law offices of Sigmund Adam to investigate an account for a possible poltergeist disturbance. The activity was centered around the offices during the weekends, witnessed by several employees of the firm, including that of a 19-year-old secretary named Anne-Marie Scharberl. Upon further investigation, Bender concluded that Scharberl was to blame for the activity, accusing her of being telekinetic due to her anger of not being happy with her job and a recent breakup with her fiancé. Every time she would pass through a hallway, phones would start ringing off the hook with no answer behind them. Picture frames hanging around the office would turn a complete 360, along with heavy filing cabinets and furniture misplacement. Some of the activity was recorded but never proven to be authentic or that Anne-Marie was to blame for. Critics and skeptics ran articles around Bender accusing him of fraudulent accounts, while he maintained that his findings were authentic. A pair of investigators from a German newspaper claimed that they had visited the offices and had found nylon threads attached to the office fixtures and false outputs on the electric current meter, making the phones and lighting fixtures go crazy. To this day, we will never know if the Rosenheim poltergeist was indeed true or just a figment of someone trying to get attention. Number 2. Epworth Rectory, aka Wesley Poltergeist. An unusual case that plagued the family of Reverend Samuel Wesley in Lincolnshire, England, in December of 1716. Reverend Samuel Wesley was given the rectory in 1709 by Queen Mary, to whom he had dedicated a poem in her honor. So in return for his kindness was given a Queen Anne-style building known as the Epworth Rectory. The occurrences range from the movement of furniture, sounds of dancing and footsteps, chain clanking, and abrupt knocking and rappings all through the house. The Reverend was one of the last members in the household to become aware of such activity, since he was skeptical about any phenomena, aside from the fact that his wife blamed the situation to rats inside the walls. Furthermore, when the activity grew out of control, the family finally decided to let Samuel in on the situation. According to the tale, after he found out, he and his wife searched the whole house, turning every nook and cranny, but nothing was found out of the ordinary. The activity continued to the point where Wesley's eldest daughter, Hetty, nicknamed the disturbance as Old Jeffrey. Just as it had appeared one day, the activity decreased in January of 1720. A few years later, a professor by the name of Addington Bruce revealed that the activity was nothing but a case of psychokinesis, rather than being supernatural. He ruled that it was created by the troubled Hetty, or perhaps it was Mrs. Wesley's fault due to her suppressed years of anger towards her husband, since she had never been able to fully resolve her marital issues. Number 3. The Seaford, aka Popper the Poltergeist. The first ever televised poltergeist, the pauper, has been the center of controversy due to the high similarities with another infamous case, the Amityville haunting. The typical 1950s-era home had nothing unusual about it. Located in Seaford, New York, a suburb of Long Island, the household was a white and green ranch-style home with 3 bedrooms, a bathroom, a kitchen, a small dining room, a living room, and a basement that was divided between a utility room and a playroom. On February 3, 1958, just an ordinary day at the Herman household, things started to turn into chaos when several bottles containing liquids all around the house started popping, losing their caps, and spilling the contents all over. James Herman, patriarch of the household, arrived home from work a short time after. He simply ruled out the incident as perhaps the house had some humidity, but still didn't accurately explain how the caps popped, especially the ones that had the screw-top lids. 2 days passed and everyone seemed to have forgotten about the incident until it happened again around the same time. James started to suspect his science-loving son, who had somehow rigged the bottles to pop scare his family. He kept a close eye on his son for the next few days, until he tried surprising him in the bathroom and charged in only to find the kid brushing his teeth. In the process, and right in front of him, several bottles of shampoo and other contents popped open and flew all across them. After searching the house for any rigged wires or any suspicious items, Mr. Herman called the cops to assist him with his problem. Skeptical at first, they thought that he was hallucinating, but since he was known as a respected member of the community, they decided to check it out for themselves, sending Detective Joseph Tossi to investigate the case. Over the next several days, Tossi kept a track record of all the incidents in the house. In the next following days, more bottles, porcelain figures, and other phenomena seemed to increase. They assisted the aid of Father William MacLeod of the Church of St. William the Abbot, as the news was breaking about the incidents through newspapers, radio, and television. This went on a little over a month when the pauper finally decided to leave the household. After tumultuous events, press, and weirdos approaching the family from all around the world, the pauper decided to leave and never come back. What was the reason for these strange occurrences? Was it one of the members of the family causing it? We might never know. Until this day, no one has a clue why or how it happened. Several skeptics and critics have concluded that it has a vast similarity with the occurrences that happened in Amityville, while others might argue that the movie Poltergeist is loosely based on this experience. Number 4. The Island McGee Witch Trial Poltergeist. Believed to be the last witch trial in Ireland, the case took place in Island McGee, Northern Ireland today, between 1710 and 1711. The case revolved around an older woman known as Miss Haltridge. She had been tormented by poltergeists for quite a while and also had been the victim of possessions according to records. She had not been able to sleep for days. Items of clothing were thrown around all over the house, and even the apparition of a young boy who appeared to her only to have vanished seconds later. She had made comments about the occurrences to some of her closest friends, but no one believed her. A few nights later, neighbors heard her screaming and saying that someone was attacking her with a knife. When people got there, she was found dead of multiple stab wounds, but no one to be seen around. A year later, her youngest daughter-in-law was visited by a woman by the name of Mary Dunbar. She claimed that the same poltergeist that had been tormenting Mrs. Haltridge had also been after her. The only difference is that Mrs. Dunbar had also witnessed apparitions of a woman attacking her while she was sleeping. Surprisingly, Dunbar was able to wake up and identify the woman, having to find out that in reality she was being tormented by 8 women in total. She later accused the women in front of a tribunal, and the women were put on trial and accused of witchcraft. They were each given a sentence of a year each for their crimes and 4 times of pillaring. No one ever found out who killed Mrs. Haltridge, and the rest of the records containing more information about the case were lost in a fire during the Irish Civil War. Number 5. Canato de Coronia Case. The first case to have ever involved not a person or a family, but a whole town in the winter of 2004 in Coronia, a town north of Sicily, Italy. Reports and claims started pouring in as early as January 4th, while others claim it started on the 21st. Appliances such as televisions, vacuums, cookers, and even wedding presents were suddenly caught on fire simultaneously and with no explanation. At least one person in the small town, a police officer, claimed to have been witness to some of the occurrences. Newspaper articles started to circulate and different stories started to spread like wildfire. People claiming it was nothing but a mere coincidence, demonic forces, the railroad system, and even a magnifying transmitter, while the mayor of the town thought it was just natural causes. The phenomenon decreased but started up again in April of the same year. The causes to this day remain unknown, but just to be on the safe side and avoid any future issues, the village power systems had a full improvement over the old one. In conclusion, they determined that the fires were caused by static electric charges and were not man-made since the charges reached a power between 12 and 15 gigawatts. Scientists and investigators from the National Research Institute and NASA prompted an investigation and came to determine this. In the summer of 2014, mysterious fires started up again and we haven't heard much since. Well guys, I really hope you enjoyed this video. This is Rain signing off, but remember, if you have a ghostly experience, a close encounter, or want to share any photos or videos of strange phenomena, feel free to send us an email to screamingforhorror@gmail.com and your story could be featured in one of our future videos. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Subscribe and follow us on our Facebook page for more. And remember, until next time, sweet screams.